Episode 171. Today we recap the series win over the Marlins and preview the upcoming series against the Chicago Cubs. You're listening to the Bucco Banter podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue the music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates, yeah, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Welcome back to another episode of Bucco Banner. And Adam, after this homestand, the Pirates have won 5 of their last 6. Almost 2 sweeps in a row. Came close, but the mighty Marlins held off in game 2. Have some things to talk about, some news. But first, what's going on, man?
Donnie Ball could be real.
I think it might be. What are they, like a game above 500 since he became manager?
16-15 since he's become manager. Hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, and it's been a lot of the same. Let's not forget the offensive woes, but strong bullpen play. The starting pitching has been good, and they're doing just enough and maybe a little bit more on the base paths to win, right? You saw it today with the first and third situation. He takes off, stops, draws a bad throw. Henry scores 1-0. Wasn't like little things like that. Stealing bags a little bit more. That kind of fell to the wayside at the end of Shelton's tenure, right? They started off strong, taking a lot of bags, didn't carry on. We're going back to that now. It looks good. It looks like it could be exciting baseball at times if they start to drive the ball a little bit more, which we've seen glimpses of. And we'll talk about Kutch's historic home run today and Cruz's home run in game 2 and Hayes going deep since the first home opener. It's been much better. Much better baseball.
A lot of the same problems still persist, right? There are still the same issues with this roster, and this team is not going to contend. But did we underestimate?
Oh, really?
Noah brought up something funny last night in the clubhouse. He's like, if we sweep the Marlins, the Rockies, and the White Sox, and then play 500 ball the rest of the way, 76 wins.
Well, they didn't sweep the Marlins.
I know. So we got to sweep someone else. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting tidbit. But, I think we may have underestimated how maybe not right Derek Shelton was for the job. Like I'm still not going to go out on the limb and say that he should have done more with what he was given, because what he was given was pretty poor for 6 straight years. But there is something to say about building a culture and having guys wanting to play for you. And maybe it's just the fact that like it grew old and like just something new was needed. That simply could be it too. Yeah. But gotta love what Donnie Kelly's doing. And if he keeps like this up and they play around 500 ball, he is going to get a very strong look to be the long term, or get extended, shall I say. I don't want to say long term, but be the next manager.
The problem with Derek Shelton was, and I mean, besides some obvious things, let's put that aside. If you lose for so long, 6 years straight, you yourself are going to hate your job. It's not going to be enjoyable to be around you, right? So maybe some of that spark was there at the beginning or at certain times, but after a while, the shtick gets old, even for yourself, right? And obviously the ones around you. So you're not bringing your best every day when you know nothing's going to get better. When something changes, things can change around you, right? Guys like showing up to work more. If you have a shitty manager at work, do you like going to work every single day? No, because it's miserable. That person's probably not happy about their 9 to 5, and neither are you. But maybe something changed. They bring in Joe Schmo in, and he puts on a smile every day, and maybe that transfers over to the next guy. And it doesn't negate the fact that the roster construction is still poor, that they still haven't done the necessary moves to make the team better, that there's still guys waiting in the shadows to have their shot. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, it's slightly more enjoyable baseball. And that's all that matters at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is more enjoyable. It's not as enjoyable when Mitch Keller and Paul Skeens don't get the run support, but Bailey Falter's 5-3. Not against anything against Bailey Falter, but it's just like, hey, Paul Skeens and Mitch Keller are pitching just as well every 5 days, you know? So I'd like to see more consistency there. Obviously, we all would. But I think Donnie Kelly he comes from a background too, where he played under Leland, grew up around Leland, played on some winning teams, coached on some World Series teams. So there's some background there that maybe Shelton didn't have. And, maybe he brings a different attitude. I don't know. I'm not in the clubhouse, but still definitely more fun baseball. You got at least some stuff to look forward to. You got Braxton Ashcraft up. You've got some guys playing really well in the minors. So just a lot different vibe right now in the Pirates clubhouse. Let's go into some headlines this week, Adam. And I don't know if I have everything, but so far what I know is Tanner Rainey he cleared waivers and he accepted an outright assignment to AAA Indy, so he's back in the org. Carmen Mlodzinski is back after the hit piece written by Noah Hiles. He is back, and he's going to be in a bulk relief role. And he is going to be in that role similar to Ashcraft, where he belongs. He's going to be valuable to that team in this role. Kyle Nicholas goes back to Indy. Hopefully he can eventually figure out. We've said it over and over again. Stuff. Lacks command.
Joey Wentz claimed by the Twins.
I saw he was claimed, but I didn't see by who. Okay, cool.
Joey Bart on his way to Indianapolis for a rehab assignment. We saw him packing his bags. He took a flight out there. Endy was moved to the 10-day IL with right elbow inflammation. The Pirates signed left-handed pitcher Tony Gonzalez to a minor league contract this week.
I don't know who that is.
Ask me who Tony Gonzalez is. I don't know.
Tight end for the Chiefs?
Yeah, he's making a comeback, baby. There's a real Tim Tebow situation going on here in Pittsburgh. And then, of course, the most recent news, Andrew McCutchen hit his 241st home run, surpassing the great one, Roberto Clemente. Did you see the interview of the guy that I don't want to say he caught it because he found it underneath the bleachers. It got lodged underneath the chair. Did you see the interview with Hannah?
No, what did he do?
Just the most yinzer. It's like it ended up in the right hands. Like he gave her right back to the Pirates. Like class act, Pittsburgher move.
Didn't ask for anything.
Nope, didn't. I mean, I'm sure Kutch will hook him up.
Right? Lifetime tickets behind home for 30 years.
Yeah,
meet and greet with
the team, meet and greet with Andrew McCutchen. Him and 30 of his best friends for a softball game at PNC Park. Like, yeah, they're bringing out the red carpet for this guy. But no, good for Andrew McCutchen. Got it at PNC Park. Probably, I mean, near the deepest part of the field. So wraps up a good week in headlines, and let's get into an even better week with the game recaps here. I'll get us kicked off on Monday, 10-3 whooping of the Miami Marlins. Mike Burrows went 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 3 walks, 6 Ks, gave up 1 home run. His ERA sits at an clean 5 right now, 41 strikes on 66 pitches. The bullpen, which has been superb as of late. We had Chase Sugart go 2/3, 1 walk. Caleb Ferguson, 2 innings pitched, 2 Ks, and Kyle Nicholas, before he got optioned, 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk. The offense, Kutch and Frazier each had 3 hits. Reynolds and Gonzalez collected 2 hits. Everyone in the lineup collected a hit. Team, 6 Ks, 3 walks, 15 hits, 8 for 19. Runners in scoring position, 8 left on base. They grounded into 1 double play, had 2 fielding errors. Didn't really matter, though. This one just wasn't close.
Yeah, it really wasn't. I really liked what I saw from Brett Sullivan. And that's not Italian bias. He looked good. He provided a spark there. I thought every at bat he had was pretty solid. He threw a runner out, like you said. And the Marlins defense kind of didn't help themselves either, but a great offensive game, man. 15 hits, 8 for 19 with runners in scoring position. Love to see that. Would love to see that more. But let's go to Tuesday. It looked like it was going to be a shutout. and made a comeback at the end, 3-2 loss. Keller went 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks. Pretty standard Keller outing. It's a quality start.
Let me stop you right there. I think we need to educate some people.
Oh God, yeah.
Real quick, because it's not the most known baseball statistic, but this is a statistic that is tracked. Okay, and when somebody puts out Mitch Keller had a quality start, somebody who doesn't know that that's an actual statistic looks at that and sees, oh, they gave up 3 runs, or what,
8 hits,
8
seems
hits
like,
or whatever like that. That sucks. You're wrong. You're wrong. That's a major league. That's a quality start. And I say it's a quality start because it quite literally is a quality start. And Scott, what is a quality start that you ask? It is
six innings, three earned runs or less.
Correct. So if you go 6 innings, 3 runs earned or less, that is a quality major league start by definition. Okay. So when people tweet that Mitch Keller has had 10 quality starts and he sits at 1-9 right now, he's doing everything that you can to win baseball games. It's hard to pitch in this league. It's hard to hit, and he's doing everything he can. He's just not getting the luck of the draw here. So again, quality start by Mitch Keller. Sorry to interrupt you. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 8 hits is on the higher side, but there are 8 scattered hits, and that's a typical. This is why he's a mid-rotation guy. He eats innings, and he's not going to put up 10 plus Ks a game. I mean, we saw him strike out 14 to one time at Camden Yards, right, but that's not going to happen often for him. He's more of a pitch to contact guy. So 16 whiffs, though, that's more than usual for him. So very solid outing. Brucky went 1 inning, no hits. Matson, man, continues to look great. He has to stay in the middle of this bullpen. 2 innings, no hits, 3 Ks. He's got a 1.5 ERA, 5 whiffs. Looked really good in 2 innings. He can give you more than 1 too. So love what he has brought to the bullpen. Cruz 1 for 4 with a home run, his 13th in an RBI. That home run was an absolute bomb. He stood and looked at his dugout. Did I clear the Miller Lite bar?
I went past it, yeah.
Yeah. So absolute shot for O'Neill Cruz. Peter Vision, 530 feet, I believe. So pretty standard for him. Brian Hayes went 1 for 4. Home run in the early part of the game. Only his second of the year. He's at 226. Kutch and IKF each doubled. Only 6 hits, though. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. 6 left on base. 8 Ks. The runners in scoring position came into effect at the end of the game. They avoided a shutout. You get Brian Hayes home run, and then you get a O'Neill Cruz home run. Last inning, Horwitz leads off, gets hit by a pitch. After him, was it Nicky G got a base hit? Someone got a base hit right after him. So then Adam Frazier bloop ground ball to first base, did his job, got the guys up to second and third, runners in scoring position, 1 out. Hank Davis, shallow pop up to right field. Need to do more with that at bat. And then Brian Hayes' at bat was, I don't want to say non-competitive, but didn't put bat the ball. And they had a chance there at the end. But hey, close game, almost came back. Let's go into today's game. Tell us how they won the series, Adam.
5-2 W over the Miami Fishies. Bailey Falter went 5 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 1 home run, 4 whiffs. He went to the curveball 22% of the time today, which is more than he usually does. It was more than his 4-seam. It was 100% zone contact on the 4-seam. Much better start than what he had in Philadelphia to start June. So back on the Bailey Falter track that he was on in May. This is a very good start. I was just interested in the picks, Mitch, that he used here. Obviously, they probably saw something that we didn't see going into this game. The bullpen, Ashcraft probably had his worst outing as a professional to date. 1/3, 1 hit, 1 earned, 2 walks. Dennis Santana came in the 6th inning, 1 1/3, 2 Ks. Caleb Ferguson, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 K. David Bednar, man, unreal.
Cash out.
I was talking to Noah about this last night, real quick, before, I don't want to get sidetracked, but he turned to me. We're sitting in the press box, and he said, would you trade Bednar or Santana, or would you trade both? And my initial reaction was like, I'd cash out on whatever we can get right now. And then I thought about it for a little bit. Maybe just one of them, but like obviously shop them both hard, right?
See what brings back the biggest return.
The biggest return, right? And I think Santana would probably yield that. But if you're looking for like bullpen consistency, and I know we on this podcast we talk a lot about finding relievers is fairly easy. Like, I mean, you found Santana off the waivers. Bednar has had his ups and downs. You could bring in guys, potentially Ashcraft. Hopefully Majinski could be a high leverage guy, but maybe if one of them proves that they can be consistent, you'd want that in the next couple of years while you're continuing to bring up these young arms as a part of the starting rotation and then the back end as well. So what's your opinion on that? You shop them both heavy?
Yeah, you see what you get the most back for. I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice not doing that. Like I said, I think there's also, and I don't want to rely on minor leaguers, but you got Eddie Yeen, Wilkin Ramos, and Altoona. You saw what Luis Peralta did when he was dealt to Colorado last year.
Right.
And you've got options, but also guys emerge in the bullpen. And I don't know. I'd be hesitant to just trade both just to trade both. But you can see what you get. Definitely test the market. And if it's an offer that you like for both, I'd do it, man, because you got to build the depth in this system, especially at the upper levels.
100%. Let's get into the offense here. As I mentioned earlier, Andrew McCutchen hit his 241st home run as a Pittsburgh Pirate. He had 3 RBIs on the day. This really solidified it for the Buccos. Hayes had 2 hits. Horwitz had a double late as a team. 8 Ks, 4 walks, 7 hits, 1 for 4 runners in scoring position, 5 left on base. Cruz had his 24th stolen bag of the year. They grounded into 2 double plays. One of them was super unfortunate. It was a 112-mile-per-hour ground ball by O'Neal Cruz right at the bag. But they held on. Bednar shut the door, and the Buccos win the series.
Yeah, I'll take a series win. Obviously, I'd like to see a shutout here, but we got him back from the first series of the season in Miami. So now we go to Chicago, Adam. But let's take a quick break before we preview the Cubs series. All right, Adam, we're back, and we're going to quickly preview the Cubs series. The Cubs sit at 41-26. They looks like it's going to be 41-27 after today's game. They're first in the NL Central, 5 games up on the Cardinals. The key to this series is going to be getting to the bullpen, man. Pitching is definitely a weakness, especially the bullpen, one of the worst in the league. So the Pirates will look to do that at Wrigley this week. But first, they go up against a familiar face on Thursday, Jameson Taillon versus Andrew Heaney. This year, Jameson is 6-3 with a 3.54 ERA and 76 1/3 innings pitched, 13 games started, 58 Ks, and a .98 WHIP. Pretty low WHIP there. He was our 2010 second overall pick. Jameson displays a 4-seam, a sweeper, a curve, a cutter, a change, and a sinker. Mostly relying on that 4-seam, sweeper, and curve. Loves to spin the ball. That's what he was known for coming out of high school in Houston. Right now, he's a mid-rotation starter with veteran savvy and the ability to provide quality innings over a full season, plus command. It's a little bit homer-prone, and there's not really much swing and miss stuff there. That 4-seam is his primary pitch. It's thrown with solid command, doesn't generate elite swing and miss rates, but can play up when elevated in the zone with above-average control. And that curveball is a traditional 12-6 with good depth, effective against both lefties and righties, used to change eye levels and induce weak contact.
Friday, right-handed pitcher Cade Horton versus a guy named Paul, is it Skenis?
Something like that. This actually going to be a fun matchup, I'm not going to lie.
Should be a good one because Horton has been good this year. 2025, 3-1 with a 4.11 ERA and 30 2/3 innings pitched. 5 games, 25 Ks with a 1.30 WHIP. The Arsenal, you got a 4-seam heavy 51% of the time, sitting mid-90s, and then he complements that with a sweeper, curve, change, and sinker. Horton projects to be a high upside starting pitcher with frontline potential. If he could stay healthy and continue to develop his changeup and command, his stuff has competitive edge to become a number 2 or even a low-end ace in a big league rotation. Let's talk about the 4-seam real quick. Features excellent velocity and high spin rates, making it play well at the top of the zone. And then the slider has elite swing and miss pitch which is arguably his best weapon. Tight, late breaking with sharp two-plane movement, devastating against right-handed hitters and capable of neutralizing lefties when buried away, generates high whiff rates, and has plus potential, which brings us to Saturday.
I like Horton a lot. He was a great college prospect out of Oklahoma. He really bursted onto the scene at the College World Series and has real feel for spinning the ball. He was a quarterback prospect out of high school. So true athlete there. But let's go to Saturday. Matthew Boyd versus Mike Burrows. Matthew Boyd, we faced him on April 30th. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and a 4-3 Pirates win. He is 5-3 on the year, 2.89 ERA, 74 innings pitched, 13 games started, 70 Ks, and a 1.23 WHIP. Pretty solid signing for them in this offseason. He was a free agent signing. I think he got a 2-year deal. He throws a four-seam change, slider, curve, sinker. Mostly the four-seam change. He sits around 93 with the four-seam. The change is low 80s, high 70s. A lot of velocity separation between the fastball and his secondary pitches. He's a backhand starter, and when healthy, his slider and savvy pitch mix can still generate outs, but the diminished velocity and injury concerns limit his upside. He's got below average velo on the four seam, but he relies on location and deception, works best when elevated to induce fly balls or paired with his breaking ball. Can get hit hard if left over the plate. Pretty much everyone can get hit hard if they're left over the plate, let's be honest. But the slider is his signature pitch. Historically, his best swing and miss offering. Features good tilt and late break. Effective, especially against left-handed hitters. Can back foot it to righties as a strikeout pitch as well.
And then Sunday, Colin Ray versus Mitch Keller. Ray this year, 4-2 with a 3.92 ERA and 62 innings pitched, 48 Ks with a 1.37 WHIP. His last start versus Pittsburgh, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 2 Ks. We had a Reynolds home run and an 8-3 win. The arsenal, you're getting a lot here. Four seam heavy 47% of the time, and then he goes to a cutter, curve, slider, split, sweeper, and sinker. Serviceable back end starter who can give a team reliable innings in a pinch. He won't overpower hitters, but with a deep pitch mix, as I just mentioned, and an improved splitter, he can keep lineups off balance when he executes. So that brings us through the 4-game series in Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen Boyd and Ray. This isn't an overpowering rotation. Cade Horton will be interesting. But yeah, if we can get in their bullpen, I think this could be an interesting series. Skeens has pitched a lot against the Cubs, so they know him well. They've got Kyle Tucker this year. They've got some interesting bats, but big divisional series on the road.
Absolutely. If you don't already, go over to the YouTube, subscribe, like, leave a comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Go over to Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts, leave a 5-star review. That means a ton. Download the episodes. Keep spreading the good word of Bucco Banter. We're trying to put out content every single day so you never get sick of the Pittsburgh Pirates and maybe just baseball generally. We got some really cool interviews coming out. We got another interview with Xavier Edwards of the Miami Marlins this week. Ran over right from our 9 to 5s to get on the field just for one interview. We're doing everything we can to bring you any type of content, even if it means catching a guy taking his last ground ball before a game and then doing our regular fan content. We love you guys. We appreciate the support. And until next time, and in Chicago, raise it.
Raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates and